I want to jump to another preview because I reacted to this live on the Prime 1 showcase, but we have some new photos because Prime 1 is at, I believe it's Tokyo Comic Con. I want to share this one to start. They shared a little bit of their Lord of the Rings quarter scale line there. You can see the massive Sauron that I have. He's so much bigger than every other statue that they have. Sauron, you can see Witch King. They got the new Boromir. They got Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn, and then the new Gandalf. So with that said, let me open that new Gandalf because I really want to show you guys what this is going to look like and then get your general thoughts on it. Because to me, I feel like it's more like a miss than a hit, but people are excited about it. So I don't want to reduce the impact of that. So this is the closer shot that we can show of the Gandalf quarter scale statue. It does have a Balrog diorama base to it, which I will show you guys in the next photo. But I want to get your general thoughts. So Kiko, what do you think about this Gandalf quarter scale? We don't have a price yet, but it does fit in nicely with the rest of the quarter scale line for Prime 1.
It was Sunday night, Will. I was out for dinner and you texted me something and I told you, and you're like, I can't believe that you are not a fan of Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, right.
Right. And I told you that is that of all the franchises out there, this is the one I've never been able to like get officially. I appreciate Tolkien and his work, the world, the lore, all that stuff, and their fandom. But this is just not the one for me. And
but you've seen the movies, obviously, then, right?
Correct. Yeah. But when it came down to it, is that they came out at the same time as the prequel trilogy. And as a Star Wars nut, I gravitated towards those. So if they're like, hey, do you want to watch a 4-hour Two Towers movie or do you want to watch Attack of the Clones? I'm like, probably going to watch Attack of the Clones. I mean, that's just who I was, growing up. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that's why. But I love how excited people do get about it, though, because they do get passionate about it. Because I think like some of the Lord of the Rings fans are more hardcore than even the Star Wars fans because that lore and that legend has been there and it's super deep. I mean, you got the Thrones people, the World of Ice and Fire, the Star Wars people, and the Lord of the Rings. And I think of all those three, I think Lord of the Rings is the more detailed, oriented, super excited about their stuff. So that's really cool. This is cool. I do like this. And I think that as a Lord of the Rings fan, it's probably the coolest Gandalf one that you can get out there, with a Balrog diorama base. I've noticed as I've started to collect statues is that outside of like the super hyper realistic ones, human head sculpts are never going to be superb from my impressions. My Anakin, my of the actual likeness of the real person, because there is no Malik that exists out there. But like if you have like a Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen or whatever, they don't really nail those head sculpts as far as mine that I have, and I'm okay with it because it's such a big piece. It's a stunning piece, and whenever you have a quarter scale figure or a quarter scale statue, even, they really command presence. And I don't think anyone's going to walk up to this thing like, oh, that's not Sir Ian McKellen. That doesn't look like him at all. What the fuck? How much did you pay for this? No, they're not. They're going to, I'm assuming this probably is USB powered and you can probably light up the base and it's probably going to be super badass. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. And for what this scene and moment represents, to have the Grey Wizard, I think it's a win. I do. I honestly do.
Yeah. See, and I'm
all that talk without being a Lord of the Rings fan.
I know, bro. And see, and that's something, Kiko, because I am going to say the opposite. Because when you look at the Gandalf offerings that are out there, not in quarter scale. So the quarter scale, this is your best bet because Prime 1 has the quarter scale. The likeness to me looks a little bit off here. With this much hair, it's hard to do sculpted well because it's too much hair. So it doesn't look as natural, right? When you have something a little bit shorter, yeah, you can do a sculpted look and it'd be totally fine. But when you see what Infinity Studios has done, yeah, half scale, much more expensive, probably, I get it. And then also you have in-art Gandalf. You have even what Asmus just did with their Crown Series Gandalf the White with rooting hair in that one. People seem to love that one a lot. This one to me with the robes, with having the robes be sculpted and the beard and hair be sculpted, even the hat be sculpted, it just looks unnatural to me. That's kind of where I'm coming at it from. So with what this is going to cost, considering the base is probably going to make this somewhat expensive, you're probably looking at least $1,500 for this, I would guess.
Really? That is a little high.
Yeah, because I'm thinking with that base, with it being light up, with that diorama sort of Balrog deal going on, I don't know. When I look in the Infinity, I see a much better likeness and I see a much better sense of realism, but you are paying $3,000 for that one. So I mean,
right.
I get
and when you have, and I don't know the ins and outs of, polystone and all that stuff and how it works. And when you're doing mixed media and even the difference between all that, I have several statues that are either all Is it polystone? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Majority of
it's
them?
like polystone. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that, but then I also have the ones that are the mixed media. And the ones that are the mixed media, I don't know if I really like that. And so if you're not
Really?
going to go that route, you know, because you can't have like a fabric hat and then a sculpted body. I personally, in my limited statue collecting, I don't really care for those that much because it's a little bit of upkeep, like that Vader right there or whatever. Beautiful quarter scale, super cool base and everything, beautiful pose, but you have to futz with the cape, and that really annoys me sometimes. And so if it was completely sculpted, like all the Mythos ones, I'd be cool with that. So I don't know. I guess it's like kind of
yeah, it's a
poison with
preference
that.
thing because I tend to be the opposite. I feel like what you know, Kiko, because you have it. When I look at that Revan, I love it, but I can't
Right. I
imagine
would
how
not
good it
want
would
that.
be if it were mixed media.
Really?
Like,
Because I feel like it would do a disservice because you'll get the one that can't pose it right, or your wire will break, or something.
Yeah, well,
like
a lot
that.
of times like the robes will have like wires in them or something, and you
Right,
can adjust
yeah.
it. So it would take a little bit of futzing, but I do feel like it would add a little more realism to it. But that Revan statue is great, no doubt about it. But having like Sauron, for example, he has a full fabric cape and everything, and you know, different sort of mixed media parts. But Carlos, I want to let you jump in on this one, bro. What do you think about this Gandalf? We don't have a price yet, but just your initial impressions.
My initial impressions of the statue is that it's exactly what I expected out of Prime 1 to deliver underperforming, underwhelming sculpts. And I think that's exactly what we're getting here. Unfortunately, it's not their best work. I think this is like a 4, maybe a 5. I don't see any likeness at all. I think the beard looks pretty bad. I think the robe looks pretty bad. The base is cool though, so I'll give them that. For me specifically, I know that Kiko said, like, people are not going to compare or be like, oh, that doesn't look like him. Like, I buy stuff for me. Clearly, you know, why I show you my kitchen and not anything I own. But so for me, this wouldn't do it. And I believe Prime 1 does a lot of that, you know, where it's like, you know, you see something like, you know, the offerings right now, even like in art, who gives you a better idea of it. And I think I would rather have that than this whatever price this is, you know. So I know it doesn't come with the cool base, but if it doesn't even look like him, I just don't even see the point in collecting anything if the sculpt isn't there, you know. And unfortunately, you know, I just don't think they're doing a very good job with their quarter scale. Honestly, I don't believe Prime 1 does a very good job at all with human sculpts or lately. I haven't seen a ton of really good ones. While you see something like Infinity or other ones that are smaller scale that do a better job. I think their quarter scale Sauron is amazing, but this one here just, you know, underperforms. But I expect them no less. I guarantee if I was to see their other quarter scale Legolas or whatever, probably doesn't look like him either. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's hey, dude. I appreciate the transparency on that one. But with video game characters, they tend to nail it. But with human likenesses, human sculpts. Yep, I'm with you. They tend to struggle a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's end that topic. We got one more to talk about.